a very interesting comment I had yesterday at my job, because my job consists of many people who just don't understand what I'm following. They call me a Satanist or a cult leader or whatever. I don't lead anyone. And they call me many names, even though they don't understand it. But I say always, no, it's not Satan, it's Tiamat, and Tiamat is not Satan. But it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm always going to be an evil guy for them. Even though I said I'm so evil, I'm even a vegan. I don't kill. I evil. And that is what they say. But dragons kill, don't they? Not if they don't have to. Dragons are guardians, and dragons will not kill if they don't have to. And they will always protect those who cannot defend themselves if they have the chance to do it. Dragons are more close to angels than to demons. Of course, dragons, they can be angry and they can be very... they are also one with the darkness, but we are all one with the darkness. But yeah, and then the question came, and that was actually a very interesting question. I have to be honest. What will God say? What will God say if I will follow this? If I'll continue to follow this? And I said, first of all, that is not a question. If I would follow this, if I would follow the dragon, because I am one with the dragon. This is my path. It's not a question if I want this. The dragon's path is not a question that you can take. You can choose to be a Christian. You can choose to be a Muslim. You can choose to do that. But you cannot choose to be a Draconic Wiccan, because that happens from one day to another and whenever you have your awakening. And I try to explain this to them, but they will not understand this. Being a vegan later on, this is just a part of it that I had. And of course, not everyone has this, but that is a part of my path. That is one of the rules that I create for myself. But yeah, he said, what will God say? And then amusingly, because I said, what a God? First of all, I don't care about this God. And second of all, I just said, which God? Which God do you actually mean? And then he said, of course, the one and only, the one, the powerful, the one that created you. Odin. No, not Odin. Oh, Zeus then. No, not Zeus, the one and only. And then, of course, I knew, of course, what he wants to say, but I just want to say there are thousands of gods, and the one that I worship is a pagan goddess from Babylonia, from Mesopotamia, from ancient Iraq, that she was actually very much worshipped. And then I said to him, I actually don't give a crap what this God will say to me or whatever, because in my eyes, I don't even believe in him. And if he was real, and I would still not care, because everything that he does is not my value. My value is completely different than this. My value is based upon the dragons and what the dragons are doing. I mean, Quetzalcoatl is my big example. Quetzalcoatl, very much worshipped in ancient Mexico. Quetzalcoatl is the god of light, the god of wisdom, and the god of compassion, the god that I look up to. Even though I'm closer to Tiamat, but she's also light and she's also very loving. But Quetzalcoatl is actually a god that I look up to. And I try to explain this to this man that is saying, but God, I said, yeah, then I prefer Quetzalcoatl every single time, because your God demands sacrifices. Whenever they wanted to make a sacrifice for Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, the dragon, he said, no, I don't want this. I don't want a sacrifice that screams. I mean, if you want to sacrifice something, then sacrifice something of yourself. And that in itself is big wisdom. Because this God that you are worshipping, I said, I know very much, because I was raised in a Christian way. I was raised surrounded by nuns. I had to read my Bible over and over and over again. So I had no choice but to think it. And I did not love that God. I feared it. And fear is never a good is never going to be a good relationship, because now I worship Tiamat, but it's not based on fear. It's based on love. It's based on desire. It's based on the connection that we have, and that is where all Draconic Wicca is based on: the desire and love for each other. And that is very much different than with the religion that he was following, that he said, I'm going to hell. Well, that is again fear. That is not a good way to let myself be coming over again, because it's always going to be fear. And that is not what I want to do. If there is someone on the dragon's path and he or she feels the dragon very well, I'm going to try to help wherever I can, not to pushing you in the wrong direction. Because these are the dragons that love us so much that even death cannot erase our love for them. And I want to let this guy on my job, let him understand how deep my love for the dragon is, how deep my love. But he always says, Satan, Satan. But Satan is a part of Christianity, or maybe religion in general. Satan is made up for me. I don't care about that. And I try to say sometimes when people say this all over again, not knowing anything about our dragon's path, it's always going to be Satan, Satan, Satan. This is not Satan. This is a dragon. And this is the one that visited me in 2005. The one that I could feel so well and so perfectly. Everything about this was pure magic. Yeah, and that is what I wish for all of us, that we can feel and taste that magic. The magic of pure love and desire for each other. That you can even feel the dragon inside of yourself. This beautiful feeling, once you can feel the dragon within, even though I did not connect with it immediately because I pushed the dragon away out of the same reason, out of that I didn't feel worthy for the dragon. I felt so much respect for the dragon. But the dragon said, you have something inside of yourself that is with us. You are one of the three that is connected to each other, to the same eye, the dragon eye, the connection that we have. And that is why also we don't need to come together with a lot of dragon witches. We need to teach ourselves. We need to learn from ourselves. We need to learn from our magic and our connection that we have, and what kind of a connection that we have with your dragons. So I don't care for Satan. I don't care for Satanism. I don't care for Christianity as well, because that God is not my God. I can feel Tiamat so well, and I can feel Leviathan, I can feel Quetzalcoatl, and I can feel Fafnir, the flames of his soul, that is so beautiful to feel. The first time that I felt this, I felt a true God. A true God, that for the very first time I felt a godlike energy. And this godlike energy touched my spirit, my soul. I'm sorry for the religious reference from calling it a soul, but it's actually an energy. This energy that is calling out for your dragon, and that in itself is a feeling that I cannot describe in words. It's so beautiful. Everything about this. And that is something that I wish for every single one of us. We don't come together, we don't do rituals together, but at least I can talk to you about this. And all of these guys at my job, and I said to them, why are you always saying this? You don't know anything about my path. But and then I said, yeah, I worship Tiamat from Babylonia. And Babylon, that is so satanic. Everything about Babylon is said. I grew up fearing gods. I grew up really, I was even afraid that he could read my mind. And that is basically what a dragon god can do as well. They can read your mind, but they can read everything from me, because they will not hear anything bad. But I had constantly bad ideas, or bad everything. When it comes to that god, I had so much fear, so much not anger, but fear. But I worshipped him out of fear. And now still, they are trying to let myself return and go away from my dragon that I love so much, and go back to that God because of fear of what else he would do to you if you do not go back. That is also what they said. What will he do if you don't go back? What did the dragon path did bad to me? That I went a vegan, that I don't kill animals anymore. So evil, my brothers, so evil. I will go straight to hell. I will go straight to hell for not killing animals, for not going to bloodshed. That is what my dragon taught me, for being a vegan. That is so evil, so satanic. and to follow my own ways, to release myself from bad people, to follow my own path. Is that so bad that I think for myself, that they don't think for themselves, but I think for myself? That is so evil. Know that I'm free, my brothers and sisters, and that is what dragons are. Dragons are free, and they will not let themselves be bossing around. And that is neither what we all should do. We should not we should not be bossed around by anyone or anything. And sometimes I go to the forest and just forget about these voices, forget about these guys, forget about my job, and just be one with the dragon. And that is what I do here in the forest, because there are too many voices, and too many of them are speaking bad about my path. It's bad, even if they don't know anything about our path. They are still thinking it's bad. Even there are so many brothers and sisters that cannot even build a dragon altar, because their parents are seeing this as a bad omen or something that is not religious, so you cannot do this. And I feel so bad for that so many people cannot be free in following the dragon. While the dragon's path is the most beautiful spirituality ever. I'm not trying to convince people on the street, hey, have you heard of my Lord and Savior Tiamat? I'm not doing that. No. You have to find your dragon first, and then we can meet to each other. We can talk about it to each other. First comes the dragon, then comes the discovery. It's so beautiful about this. And the dragon is not Satan. They are not the devil. Of course, they can be one with the darkness, but that is also the beautiful part of it. You can teach yourself from the darkness, and you can teach yourself from the light. You can teach yourself from everything, from the gray energy of a dragon. That is also where wisdom comes from. Ancient wisdom of the dragon. Ancient wisdom of the dragon that you eventually will receive once you are on your dragon's path. Receiving energy and wisdom from the dragon makes it also much more beautiful about this. And what the most beautiful part about this is that your God and your guardian by your side are loving you so much, undying love. And I'm not saying to convince you, come to this path, something that you need to feel. I feel this so much, so many times, that I will not let myself be feeling alone. I'm always surrounded by them, looking through the same eyes. Like I said, it's not a choice that I made. It's an acceptance. I made an acceptance because I could feel the dragon. I could even feel the dragon within. I could feel the dragon everywhere. And the only thing that I could feel at that moment was the most pure version of love. Pure version of love, pure version of desire and trust, and all those beautiful, beautiful emotions that I have. Sometimes you have to let your emotions steer you and guide you, because they will eventually become instincts. So I told this to my colleague. I told them everything. Tiamat, I don't ask you to follow Tiamat or Quetzalcoatl. I don't ask you to follow the dragon. The only thing that I actually ask from people who are judging and people who are very much saying, oh, Satan, is respect. The only thing that I ask from people who don't believe is respect. The only thing that I ask from them. So my brothers and sisters, be blessed.